Hi, Sabina.
Welcome.
Thank you.
For those of you that are listening at home and not watching, maybe, today on the couch is Denise Pelley, who joins us on this beautiful couch. And you were actually at the live Raw show and you sang, and it was beautiful. But I feel we didn't get to get right into your story
Okay.
and talk more. So I am so grateful that you're back and we get to have like this intimate conversation one on one today without a whole audience watching us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
So
much. Happy to
thanks.
be here.
Thank you. So lots has happened since the show. We've had a lot of guests on the podcast and things are going really well. And I know that you are one of the favorites and people have sent some questions in that they'd like me to ask you.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, can I just say congratulations on your podcast?
Thank
I
you.
think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Thank you for supporting me from day one and being a big part of it. I really appreciate that. And I'm honored to have you here because you're just an amazing woman that speaks authenticity through and through. So I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's going to lead me to my first question. And I know I kind of asked you this last time on the couch, but what does authenticity truly mean to you?
Uh, it means, to me, it means being true to myself, being true to my beliefs, and being authentic, being me, and not trying to be anybody else. Just wake up in the morning and I'm Denise, and let's go and do it again.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Denise, if you were to choose one word to describe you, what would that one word
Oh my
be?
gosh. Um, that's a hard question.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is one word. I think that would be one word. Oh gosh, I could say music because that would describe me. I could say strong because not that I'm patting myself on the back, but I do think I'm
That you
strong.
should. Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
are
Thank you.
strong.
Thanks. I'm
Yeah.
strong in my beliefs and in what I want to do and who I want to hang out with, my friends, my family. So I'm going to say strong.
Good.
I had to talk through that
You did.
and I got to strong.
Isn't it interesting how, as women, I feel that sometimes we hesitate to say that because, oh my God, I might seem a little cocky or I
Yeah,
may be full of my. No, you're
absolutely.
strong, you're
Thank you.
beautiful, you're bold. Like, yes.
And why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why can't we say it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, Denise, for people that might not know Denise Pelley, do you want to just kind of like I can sit there and say that you are an amazing singer, you're an actress, you're a mother, you're a friend, you're a kind soul, you give back to the community, you've opened for Aretha Franklin, but I want it in your words. Describe yourself in your journey in your life and all the beautiful things that you have been able to experience in your life.
Oh, thanks. Well, first of all, I am
Yeah.
a mother of three, with my oldest one who passed away in the year 2000 in a car crash. And I have two other boys. And a grandmother. I'm a grandmother. Yes, I am a singer. And thankfully for me, music has helped me get through all the ups and all the downs and the in-betweens that life has thrown or has given me, maybe
Mhm.
has given me, because it's all opportunities. The good stuff and the bad stuff all lead to opportunities and try to make you be a better person as you go through and travel through all the ups and the downs.
It's beautiful. You just touched on your son. I'm going to ask, and I think it's going to lead us back to that. What would you say has been your rawest moment in your life?
I'm sorry,
Your
what?
rawest moment in your
Oh,
life?
definitely the loss of my son.
Yeah.
My son Jason Edmonds. He was 23 when he passed away. He was in a There were five young men in the car, and three passengers died, and it was due to road rage. So the drivers were trying to beat each other going down Wonderland Road, and the car that Jason was in lost control and went over the median, and other cars I think came from the other side and hit the car. So two of them died instantly, of which Jason was one of them, and the other young boy died in the hospital.
So
That would have been the rawest moment. And yeah, I can pretty much remember
I was gonna
everything.
say, can you bring us back to
Yeah, I
that night
can.
and
I
what you
can.
were going through,
Yeah.
feeling? Could you sense something?
No,
No.
no, not at all. No, I was out. I was out that evening with, I think my mom and my aunt and some other people. We went out for dinner. Then they went home. I went on to Centennial Hall because there was a blues concert going on. And I actually got up and sang a couple of songs with the band. And I got home fairly early, 10 or 10:30, and shortly after that, there was a knock at the door. And I had no idea who was knocking. I thought maybe one of the friends of the boys were, coming over to see them. And it was the police and another support person to come in and tell me that he was gone. And yeah. And the hardest thing, I think, for me was to tell my other boys.
How
It
old
was
were your other boys at that
at
time?
the time, uh, I think they were, you know, 16 and 15 or 14 years old. And this was their oldest brother. They weren't home at the time. I remember my youngest son coming home and I had to tell him, and he ran to the kitchen crying. And so that was pretty raw to have to tell the boys and the rest of the family.
And as a mom,
Mhm.
can you even describe that feeling of hearing those words?
I honestly can't. It wouldn't be the first thing to come to my mind. It was the fact that I had to tell the kids. That's the first thing that I can remember. I can't remember what I said when they told me or anything. I just remember when the boys came home and I had to tell them that their brother died.
Obviously, huge life defining moment, has changed your life and rocked you
Totally,
forever.
totally.
And I know that you're a beautiful spiritual woman, and God is through and through you. But are you angry? Like, were you angry?
No, no, I was never angry. Sad, probably depressed, but mostly sad because I didn't have my boy anymore. But no, I was never angry. I guess I thought and still think, what's the point? That's not going to do anything. It's not going to bring him back. It's not going to make me feel any better. It's not going to help me support my kids if I'm angry. So no, I wasn't angry, just deeply saddened. And I still am. Yeah.
Never goes away, does
Hmm.
it? Even though you know that they're all around you. Do you still feel his presence?
Always. I talk to
Yeah.
him all the time. I always say to him, I can't find my keys, Jay. Sorry to bug you again, but can you help me? And he comes through. Believe it or not, he comes through.
I know when we first met, we had connected over the phone, and we both said at the show that we really feel that Jay's the reason that you're sitting here
Yeah.
today and that
Yeah.
we've connected. And I know that night at the live show, you reconnected with a lot of his friends, and
did.
those were some beautiful moments that took
Yeah.
place. And, DJ Everfresh still talks about it. I ran into him on the weekend, and he was like, that was such a beautiful, he didn't make that connection right away.
Mhm.
And then when he did, he was just a sobbing mess. So, yeah, I think it's beautiful that you have his memory live on as you do.
I'm so thankful for that. And I love it when I run into some of the kids that he knew. And I call them kids. I mean,
Right.
Jason would have been 45, 46 years old by now, but they're still boys to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course they
And
are.
it's nice to run into them.
And he was a actor,
Yeah,
singer?
he was.
Yeah.
No, he was an actor and
Okay.
he had done some small roles, non-speaking roles, but he did some roles in a couple of movies of which I was lucky enough to see. And yeah, and I'm convinced he would have made it. I know he would have made it. He was on a roll.
It's beautiful. And your other two boys, how are they? Like, how are they? Have they been bitter by this experience, or do they have the same type of faith that you do?
We haven't really talked a lot about Jay. It's not that we don't mention his name because I'm happy to mention his name all the time. Um, but they've just learned to move on, as have I. You move on, but you don't forget. But you have to move on. You can't stay in that tunnel, that hole. You've gotta figure out a way to move on, but help keep his memory alive. So they did that. So I'm proud of them for that.
Good. Um, I know that you've been going through some health struggles
Mhm.
and different things
Mhm.
going on in your life. Again, you are like a force to be reckoned with. It's like I look at you and think this has not stopped you in any way, but can we just touch on that a little
Sure.
bit
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. In 2018, I started to feel something was wrong because I couldn't walk 10 feet without being totally out of breath, having to stop for 10 minutes. And, I'm breathing deep because I can't catch my breath. And finally, the following year, because it took a while to get diagnosed, they diagnosed me with scleroderma, which is it's an autoimmune disease that stiffens your muscles and your joints. Um, it does a lot of different things to a lot of different people, it depends. But it has stiffened my joints and my muscles. So walking is an issue. But it also gave me another disease, which is pulmonary hypertension, and that's a lung disease. So that does affect my breathing. And I'm a singer,
Right.
Um, so it's made me it's made me sing made me sing differently in the fact that I have to breathe differently or take breaths where I didn't used to have to take breaths.
Right.
But I was bound and determined, as I still am now, that it's not gonna stop me. I'm not gonna. Singing is my it's my piece of heaven, really, and it's how I get through. I'm just going to end it there, not get through the day or get through life. It's just how I get through. And it's important for me to be able to do that. And it's how I communicate. So I wasn't prepared ever to stop singing.
Right. Do you think that this is a test from like, you look at things and you think you've been blessed with this gorgeous voice, and yet the disease that you have been unfortunately given
Mhm.
affects your voice,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
it's like, what is this all about? Is this because some people would just give up, right? Where I think it's made you actually even stronger,
Yeah, I think it
right?
did. It did.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
do you get bitter about it? Do you get upset? Like, do you get angry with God?
No,
No,
I don't.
you just
It could be worse. People are going through worse things.
mm,
Um, and maybe they can't even sing or can't talk or can't move, can't walk. I can still do all of those things. So, it's annoying. I'm not gonna lie, it is annoying, and I wish I didn't have it, but I do. So I just have to deal with it.
you just learn to live with it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which is good. You don't get into the woe is me, and you just
No,
keep
that's a
because that's
waste of
not
time.
right.
And that's taking energy away that I don't want to do.
Okay, I want to move it over to the incredible work you have done over in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
So can we touch on that? Because I know we never got to speak about that.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't even know the questions to ask because I don't know enough about it. So
Okay.
I'm going to let you take the lead
Oh.
on this and tell me the experience that you had
Mhm.
and why and what
Mhm.
led you to this.
My good friends, Jane Roy and Glenn Pearson, who also run the food bank, they, um, I guess it was them who started the organization called Canadian Aid for Southern Sudan, and they started this many years ago, even before I was part of it. And they were going to South Sudan and helping the people because it's a sad situation that they have over there. And we were doing a concert once a year to help raise money for the things that they did in Sudan. And one year I remember at the end of the concert, and I had said to Jane Roy, I'd like to go one time and see what you do. And then she just said, well, come,
Just like that.
just come then. So the first year I went was in 2007, and there were several of us ladies who raised enough money because we had to pay our own way,
Mhm.
raised enough money to go. And then I was hooked. I was hooked, you know. Um, there we are in South Sudan. I'm not a lover of the heat, and it's stinking hot there. Um, I don't care for a lot of bugs and things, and you know, they got all that stuff. But what really touched my heart going there was the fact that the people who live there and who know that they have nothing still walk around with smiles on their faces.
Something
Every
like
time
that.
you saw them, if you saw them 5 times a day or 10 times a day, they would still greet you like it was the first time that they had seen you that day. And most of the time when I was there, I would spend with the kids because what I did was help to deliver a music and art camp for the kids there. And the kids ranged from babies to teenagers and even young adults. So they would come and, you know, and myself and Lucy Ogletree, who was the other gal who helped run the camp with me, we would spend time drawing pictures with the kids and singing with them and just watching them have fun because they don't get a chance to be kids. The little ones are too busy taking care of their siblings while mom and dad are out trying to find food or water or work. So the kids were there to have fun, and they sure did have fun. The last year I was there was 2019, and I think there were between 400 and 500 kids who would come to camp every day, and we're all outside. We're just outside underneath this big tree singing away. It was quite something. I'll never forget that.
And it probably has defined and shaped you in a different way, right?
Absolutely.
Because your
Yeah.
eyes are so open to what we take for granted every day, right? And as you say that they still have this smile, it's like they know no different, right? They
No.
don't know the way the other side lives, but
Mm.
we look at it and go, wow, like how can these kids still be happy?
Yeah.
And yet I'm not happy because something so little, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you think after that experience coming back to Canada, what changed for you, if anything?
Well, no, I think just to be more appreciative of what we have. And, you know, I don't really have a right to do a heck of a lot of complaining because I have a house and a car and food in the fridge and a bed to sleep on. And I have all that. And they don't have any of that. So I don't, you know, I know we're human and we complain and we get hurt and you know, we want to complain about it. I get that. Because I'm not perfect, but I know it really makes you aware of what matters after you go someplace like that.
I found when I went back to Pakistan, I had no recollection of what it was going to be like. But here I was mourning my grandmother had just passed away and we were planning my wedding. So it's such a tug of war. But going there, what I realized is either you are like filthy rich or you are dirt poor, and there is no middle class. So as you, I saw these experiences of this young girl was on the street and she was burnt head to toe and she must have been 4 or 5. And I said to my uncle, like, this is like breaking my heart. And he said, I will offer her a home and food and all that. She will not come and watch. So they did, and she didn't. And then I learned that there was actually an underground market going on where people were actually burning these kids to get them to get money.
Oh,
Right. So they were,
my.
yeah. And it was when I came back, I honestly would, if someone was to ask me my life defining moment and what changed me in that sense of being more grateful in my life, not knowing back then, right? I was just young. So coming back and going, we've got running water, we've got food, just all the things you just listed that we don't think twice about and think, oh, yeah, and we all waste. I don't, none of us are perfect, but those kids would just take scraps and, right? So, and I always find that people say one person can't make a difference, but I don't agree with that
I don't
because, right?
One person can totally make a
Yeah.
difference. Yeah.
So, um, In that experience, was there a moment that really changed you or someone you bonded with, whether it was a child or something?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I bonded with a number of them, but there's always that special one. Her name was Bakita. There's a lot of Bakitas and a lot of Josephs and a lot of different, the names like that. But her name was Bakita. And one year I went 12 years. And one year I went and she came up to me and she just said, take me to Canada.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just kind of,
and you probably just wanted to pack her up in your
I did.
suitcase
I
and
did. Of
oh,
course, you can't do that.
right.
Yeah, because they think we have everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we do.
We do.
We do have everything. So it's just a matter of sharing what we have. And, that could mean for anybody who is able to go to any of these third world countries, that they can just go and be with the people, because the people there just want you to never forget them. They want the world, don't forget about us.
Now you're no longer going
No,
due to
no,
like
I'm
health
not.
and all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So 12 years?
I went
Yeah.
12 years, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and do you struggle not to be able to go
I
back?
do.
Yeah.
I miss it terribly, and I miss them.
Mhm.
It's the kids and the parents and everybody. I just miss seeing them and being with them. Yeah.
This is gonna lead me to my next question. Do you have any regrets in your life?
Do I have any regrets? Oh, I don't think I do. I haven't had a perfect life. No one does, but
Yes.
so far, up until this point, I haven't regretted anything that I have done or regretted something that I didn't do. No, I can honestly say no. I don't have any regrets.
Um, would you say that you're a good friend?
Would I say that?
That you're a good friend?
I think I am. Yeah, I do. I have friends. I know a lot of people. Um, I'm not going to say I have a lot of friends, but I do have some pretty special people that I consider to be my deep friends. I do.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. I have so many questions. I'm gonna ask you if you could bring everyone into a room that you have ever met in your life, dead or alive, and you could only look for one person.
And I could only,
Look for one person and go talk to them. Who would it be?
oh, it's got to be my son, Jason, without a doubt.
And what
Yeah.
would you say to him?
Yeah. I would, there's many times where I'm at home thinking, and something might have happened or is going to happen. And I wish I could just pick up the phone and say, hey, Jay, guess what? But then I try to tell myself, he already knows.
He already knows. What would you say to him?
I'd probably want to tell him all about the trips to Africa, um, tell him maybe some of the exciting things I've done singing wise, and just and I'd say, and how are you doing? What's going on with you?
Probably want to know. I would want to know, right? Like, what's it like? Where are you?
Yeah.
Like, really? Is there like this afterlife? Like, what is it, right? So, yeah, I
Yeah.
figured you would say.
Oh yeah.
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 What has been your most proudest moment? You've had a lot of amazing accomplishments in your life, but what would you say, again, if you could only choose one, your proudest moment?
I got to work with Jason. We did a musical together. He was a non-musical person in that particular play that we did. It was called The Gospel According to Jazz.
Oh,
And he played the part of Jazz. That was his name. Um, and we got to do that a few times in London and in some of the surrounding areas in London. So that's probably my proudest moment, because that's the only time I would have had a chance to be on stage with him,
right.
especially knowing that he was going to be an actor and was on his way to that. So that's a pretty proud moment for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt, without a doubt. Do you fear death?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. And I especially don't since I lost my son. because I'll get to see him
Mhm.
when my time is done here. That's what I believe in. So no, I don't fear death. I'm not ready. I'm not
Right.
ready to go to my room yet. I
Right.
call it my room.
Your room.
I call it that, yeah. I'm not ready to go, but I know that when I do go, I'll be able to see him, and then we can have a big reunion
Yeah.
along with many other people who have already passed away.
over.
Yeah.
Do you, if you were given one dying wish, do you have a wish that you would?
A dying wish. I guess it would just be that I would hope and wish my family would, especially my kids and my grandkids, would continue on and be happy in life and be proud of what they're doing and have all their wishes come true. That's what my dying wish would be. I wish for your wishes to come true.
So beautiful. How do you want to be remembered? When people say, when you've passed over and your name comes up, what is, I know a feeling I would have when someone mentions your name, but what is it that you would want, you hope that people say or feel when they think of you?
I guess I would hope that when remembering me, they could remember something that would make them smile or make them laugh, like a big hearty laugh, because we did something silly or and had fun together doing it. So I just want them to smile and remember something fun that we did together or something that I did to make them laugh.
That's beautiful. When I think of the first time that you came over here, I never shared this with you, but I had made you traditional chai tea.
You did. It was
And I left the stove on and I burnt it and I ruined my pot. And I was like, I wonder if she tasted the burned tea. And I'm like, is she just saying she loved it? Because it was like terrible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No. So,
and I didn't smell anything burnt.
oh yeah, I
No.
totally burnt it. So we'll have to have you back and we'll make some chai
Okay,
and
I'd love
have a
to.
really nice time. I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Uh-oh.
Are
You already have.
I know, but you've done wonderful. You have not even like flinched at anything I've asked you. And
Oh no.
I appreciate your rawness and your honesty and feeling comfortable enough and confident enough to share because I think through your sharing, I hope, my hope with this whole podcast and show is that someone can hear your story and heal themselves or go, I'm not alone in this. So
yes.
that's the beauty of it. But
And you're easy to talk to.
oh, thank you.
So,
So are you.
thanks.
So are you. You made me nervous in the beginning. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. She's famous. But no, you have an ease about you. So thank you for that. But can you take us out in your favorite song?
Oh,
Did you not think I was going to ask this?
it wouldn't even come to my mind.
Really?
Maybe until I walked in the door and
Yeah. She's going to
she's
ask.
gonna ask me what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
Anything. Anything that comes to your mind that you're comfortable with.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Is that enough?
Yes. Okay.
That is my favorite song.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
I am not supposed to be crying today. I've like nonstop cried.
Have
but
you?
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you for that. That was beautiful.
You're welcome.
That was so beautiful.
Let's get real.